How's it, everyone? This is Local, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you about companions, where to farm really nice companions, what kind of modifiers are good, how to catch a really nice companion, the actual mechanics of it. You can get some really strong buffs from these. You can get things like Haste Aura, which gives you increased movement speed and 20% increased attack and cast speed. You can get like physical damage auras or defensive auras that slow down nearby monsters or give you increased energy shield. There's so many cool things that you can get from these. This build specifically, there are some that I will speak about, but the first thing to talk about is how to catch a Pokemon or a beast to use. So the first thing is, this is a gem that becomes available. It's a level 9 gem. You normally get this around Act 3 under Spear, Tame Beast. So what you do, get your Tame Beast gem. Then where do I find beasts? The easiest place currently is to go to Act 3 to Jungle Ruins. And from here, let me show you. Now in Jungle Ruins, we're looking for the Troubled Camp. This normally spawns on one of the side walls, either kind of like on the corners. I've found it tends to spawn. So we're looking for the Troubled Camp. The reason why we're looking for this is because there is a guaranteed rare beast spawn at the Troubled Camp, and we're able to respawn a checkpoint repeatedly to respawn that beast to fish for modifiers. So I'm going to first find it, and then I will show you what we are going to do. All right, here we go. We found the Troubled Camp. Now, as you can see, here is this guaranteed rare monster spawn that I spoke about. The best one that I think is a Quadrilla. This guy, the guy with 4 arms. If you don't get a Quadrilla, you can refresh the instance. I'll show you how to do that later, but we have our Quadrilla now. Now what we need to do is check his modifiers. So this one, he is armored and periodic lightning explosions. That's not very good. So what we do is we go respawn a checkpoint, confirm, don't kill the monster. And then we are going to go back here and we're going to see where's the monkey. Here's another one. Prevents recovery above 50%, evasive. That again is not what I want. So we're just going to keep doing this over and over and over until we find modifiers that we are interested in. Let's just pop in our Tame Beasts. I'm going to get rid of my current Quadrilla. And let's discuss which types of modifiers are the best or most useful, at least for the builds that I've been playing. So I would say the number one thing is Haste Aura. This gives you increased attack and cast speed, 20%, and 10% increased movement speed. I think maybe in the end game, you get a higher tier of Haste Aura that might work better. Once I'm further into the end game, I'll see. So I say aim for one of these modifiers at least, depending on your build. So Haste Aura is really good. There's also Temporal Bubble. That's a really nice one because any enemies that enter that Temporal Bubble will get slowed down. There's also an Invulnerability Aura. I believe it's every 10 seconds you are invulnerable for 5 seconds as long as you're in the beast's presence. There's also Trail of Elemental Ground, so fire, lightning, and cold. That works really well if you're playing a Twister build. There's also an Elemental Aura that gives you 20 to all elemental resistances. That one is really good. However, if you're playing hardcore, don't rely on that. If your beast dies or if it runs too far away, you're not going to get that. So you'll be temporarily a little bit more vulnerable. There's also a Physical Aura and then an Energy Shield Aura. So there might be other ones that are really good, that are like the best thing that you should get, but there's also some really nice secondary effects. So another good secondary effect is something like All Damage Shocks or Ignites. That's really good for your damage. Lightning Storm for applying shock, heals allies, suppresses recovery. Things like Molten Shell to keep your guy more tanky. You could think of that as like a cherry on top. Flame Wall, that's another really nice one. So there's all these cool modifiers, and we are going to be fishing for combinations of these. So the Tame Beast gem itself, it can retain up to 4 monster modifiers on the beast. So in normal, you're probably going to get a 1 mod, maybe 2 mod beast. In Cruel, you can get actually 4 mod beast. So that's why I'm doing this in Cruel. But if you're only in normal, you can do this in normal. So we've got our Tame Beast. We're going to do this. And now we're going to start fishing for the ultimate Pokemon. And let's see what we got. We got a stuns, takes damage from minions first. Not interested in that. So we're just going to reset. Okay, So here we have elemental resistance aura and hasted. Hasted is different from haste aura. So hasted in this case will not affect me, but the monster itself is hasted. So I would say that's like an okay one, but probably not that good. We're looking for, I would say, at least 2 modifiers. Extra fire damage, periodically unleashes lightning. Here we have an extra physical damage aura. That one is pretty nice. I think it is between 20 or 30% increased global physical damage. It's a nice chunk if you're a physical build. Here, conjures lightning storms. That's a decent one, but I would say that's like a secondary modifier, so I'm not going to capture this beast just for that. Here's another nice one, Hinder Aura, which is behind the follower. So when I'm in the Hinder Aura, movement speed is slowed by 24%. That one's okay, I would say. I don't believe that monsters are able to have multiple auras. Maybe later in the game, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Flame Walls, evasive, extra lightning damage. This Flame Wall thing can be nice for some projectile builds, although I'm not certain what level it is. Here's another one. This Temporal Bubble is really nice. While I'm in it, you have severely lowered action speed and your cooldowns take longer to recover. Negative effects on you take longer to expire. So if this is our guy, he'll apply that to other enemies. So this I would say is like an amazing secondary one, but not a, I'm just going to use it just for this. Actually, this one is pretty good. Here's a Hinder Aura, Trail of Lightning. So this will slow enemies that are near him, and he's got the Trail of Lightning. So for Twister builds, I can capture that so that I have the lightning ground. But again, I would say that like Trail of is secondary, not as good as like a haste Trail of Lightning would be crazy good. Oh, okay, this one's pretty cool. Haste Aura with periodic cold explosions, extra crit, extra cold damage. So this could be a really nice utility one, where he's freezing enemies around him. He's got a haste aura, extra cold damage, extra crits. So I would say that one is absolutely worth capturing, but we're going to see if we can find one that is like absolutely brilliant. All right. I've been doing this for like half an hour. I don't know why it took so long to get another haste aura, but I'm going to give myself my own advice. But the thing is, when you capture a beast, it's going to be locked to the actual specific gem that you use. So you can, if you have a number of, let's say, tier 9 gems or whatever, or tier 14, you can capture different beasts and then use them at later stages when you need them. So this I would actually is really good. He has haste aura. He's hasted, periodically unleashes fire, also has cold explosions. So it's not like S tier, but it's pretty good. So what we're going to do, let me just show you how this skill works. So you actually like mark a beast, and then you have the wisp duration. That period is the time which you have to kill the monster. And then if you kill it during that period, you will capture it. So when the monster, if you do a lot of damage, do this at the start of the fight. Otherwise, do it when the monster's like halfway or, getting close to dying. Think of it like Pokemon. When it gets low, you throw the Pokeball. That's what this is. So I'm gonna throw my Pokeball. He is now being marked, and then we're going to capture him. And now you see it's Pikachu. We got him. So now here is our new monster. And you can see the modifiers we have. So periodically unleashes fire, periodic cold explosions, haste aura, and hasted himself. So this guy's going to be a very zoomy boy. Now, in order to activate this is going to require a certain amount of spirit. This, I think, depends on the various modifier types on the monster itself, but this one, it requires 42.3%. I also have some reservation stuff on my tree over here, which makes it cost 25% less, 30% less actually. So I can activate that. And then I now have this, and I have haste aura. And he's also releasing these things, which are exploding. So let's talk about some of the gems we can support our guy with. First and foremost, we need to keep this guy alive. He's not here to deal a ton of damage himself. He's like a utility. So we want to keep him alive. Last Gasp is really nice. This will mean that he is up more. Then we also have Meat Shields, and we also have Elemental Army. These are the three that I've been using. I'll probably go for Last Gasp and Meat Shield to start out, then add in Elemental Army. And then we can save this guy for later. So if we want to use this specific companion later, we can. But I was using this one. So all damage shocks, haste aura, and I like this because he shocks my enemies. So we pop these in and he's much tankier. Now, if you kill this monster and after you've captured him, then you will need to have a new instance to do what I was doing now of repeatedly respawning at checkpoints. So if you kill him, he's not going to be there every time you respawn a checkpoint. So what you can do, you can either leave the area and then on the actual doorway of, let's say, Jungle Ruins, I'm going to control click. This will make a brand new instance and then we can enter like that. And then this will be a brand new instance. We can find the same place we were just at, the troubled camp, and we can farm more of these. So advice, don't be overly greedy. If you see something that is pretty good, capture it. And then when you feel like you want an even better monster, you can go back and farm for another one. There are a couple of other places you can farm for monsters. One is going to be in Infested Barrens by this troubled camp. That actually has 2 guaranteed rare monsters, rare beasts that spawn next to it, that you can do the same thing of respawning a checkpoint. However, I think these are the roly armadillo monsters, which aren't as good as the quadrilla. There's also in Sandswept Marsh, some people have said that there are those bug monsters that spawn bugs that you can use. I think you can kill them for flash charges. I'm not 100% sure. If that's the case, it seems like that's the kind of thing they're probably going to patch. But this is what I've done. This is what worked for me. And I have collected a whole Pokedex of little beasts. So here's my beasts collection, elemental resistance or a trail of ice. This one's really cool. So you can collect a different group of them, test what works for you, and then equip it. These are account bound, so you can't go on the trade site to just buy what you need. It might take a bit of time, but trust me, it is so worth it to have just like a permanent haste aura that gives me 20% increased attack speed, 10% movement speed. Hopefully at the higher tiers in later maps, we're going to get a higher tier of haste. But yeah, that is how you do your companions. If you like the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm streaming every day on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. I'm also streaming on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. I have a Patreon. I have a Discord if you want to get to know the community. All that is linked in the description. I'm going to go to bed. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Stay safe. Catch you in the next video, and bye-bye.
大家好，如果你正在玩 POE2，但忙于工作没时间投入，欢迎来到喵喵小铺，这里提供高品质的 POE2 账号打造服务，主打流派打造，为你完善装备、技能宝石、辅助宝石、天赋树、珠宝、药水等全套配置，确保流派强度与流畅度。此外，还提供通货提供、一条龙破荒和流派健检服务，各项客制化需求皆可讨论，让你快速成为顶尖玩家。多位老板已见证我们的专业与品质，花钱买的不只是时间，更是顶级游戏体验。立即订阅喵喵小铺，用最少时间享受最极致的 POE2 乐趣，开启你的流亡传奇。